Hi guys, and welcome to this video. Today I am trying out something new. I didn't know what to draw really, and I didn't feel like drawing any cartoons or any horses or humans or anything like that, anything that I'm used to. I didn't feel like it, I wasn't inspired to do it, and I didn't know what to draw, so I started thinking, why not just draw animals? Some kind of animal, I don't care what animal it is, but the problem was I was blank inside my skull. I didn't know what to draw, I couldn't figure out any animals, and I wanted to try something new, something brand new, something I've never drawn in a more realistic style. So I just figured there must be some random lists on the internet. I mean, you can find anything on internet, so a random list with animals would be amazing. So I just googled it and I found a page where I randomly ended up with the octopus. I have drawn octopus as cartoon animals, very simplistic, nothing advanced, nothing, so I was like, it doesn't really count, and I have never really drawn an octopus, a realistic looking octopus. So I took the challenge and figured it could be fun. They are very agile, very movable and mobile, and it could be really interesting to draw an octopus because they don't really have a bone structure. So I saw it like a great challenge to just play around with something that is extremely limp. So I was just googling references and taking a closer look on octopuses. Is it octopus or octopuses? Yeah, anyway, I was googling it and got a feel for it, and I had some references when I drew this one just to make sure I knew what I was drawing, so I didn't draw something that didn't look like an octopus. Like you see, I am drawing with ink here. I am using Winsor & Newton. It's really good, I like it, and yeah, I can't say anything bad about it really. I've been working with it on and off since 2013, I think. I've never really been into ink, but more recently I have accepted a technique with ink. So I am drawing a little bit more with it, but I am still a beginner with it, but it's fun. Here you just see me working with the ink, just drawing the outline, or not the outline, because there really isn't the outline. Let's say the extreme black shadows, that we can say. It was really fun to draw the, what's the word? I want to say suction cups, but that's not the word for an octopus. But I'm gonna say suction cups just because it sounds so funny. They were really fun to draw. I actually believed that they would be more advanced to draw or paint, but they were extremely easy, and it were really a pleasure to draw it. This is going to be a long video, guys. I mean, it's not often you get this long videos from me, but I figured with my other watercolor painting I thought it went too fast because I really compressed it to 4 minutes and it went too fast. So I figured it has to be longer so we don't lose any information, guys. I really want to show the detail of the work so it don't get rushed. So we just have to enjoy each other's companies for over 12 minutes. I hope you don't mind. So once the ink had dried, I started with a watercolor. This blue color is the turquoise light from Winsor & Newton, and I really love this color. It's really bright and thick. It lays on top of other colors, so it was a challenge with the black because the blue places up over the black. It didn't let the black come through, so I had to work with it a little bit to make the black come out from behind the blue. But yeah, and once I was done with the blue, at least on the head, I started on the purple, and I used the color, what's the color? The English. Quinacridone magenta. quinacridone. 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 I have to learn that. Quinacridone magenta. So I was just blending it with the blue. I always love the combination of that kind of turquoise blue with a bright magenta. It's so pretty. They are amazing together, and I have just loved it, and especially since I started with the watercolor just some months ago, and they just marry each other. They marry, and they have a happily marriage, and they have the kids, and they have the grandkids. It's so beautiful. It was a beautiful wedding. But it was really, really amazing, those two colors. And I decided early on that I wanted those two colors for the octopus, just because I love them. It's my signature color, and I really like it. So here I'm just working on the shadows with the magenta, and just giving it a texture. I have drawn this painting in layers, I would say. That is the problem with me when it comes to watercolor. I want to get it done. I don't want to wait. I have no patience for waiting. So watercolor is something I have to work with really hard, because the color has to dry before I add another layer. And that is why I mainly draw digital art, because it's much easier. I don't have to wait on the color to set. So, but with watercolor it really tries my patience, and I really have to just think about things before I do it, because I can't change it. And watercolor is really, it's a living color, it's a living element. It does what itself wants. You can just push it towards the right direction, and then it does the rest of the work. And that is just the pain and the beautiful thing with watercolors. I have really learned to like watercolors. In the beginning I was against watercolors. I didn't want to work with it because it was too advanced. It didn't do what I wanted, and it was simply just too advanced for me. But now I have matured into the role, so now I really like it. You can see that I was adding a more darker blue. I think in this one it was the Peruvian blue. I'm not sure, but I think it was the Peruvian blue. All my colors are Winsor and Newton, so I have just ended up liking them. They are kind of expensive, they are. So I was in the store to buy new colors, maybe, what was it, 2 weeks ago. And Winsor Newton was the most expensive label on the shelf. There were 3 or 4 different labels, and Winsor Newton was the most expensive. But Winsor Newton has never failed me, and I feel comfortable with their label and their products. So sometimes you have to pay the extra to get what you want. And I really like Winsor Newton. They are really amazing. So here I'm just working on the background. I wanted to make it a little bit of a, not a square, or is it square? I wanted to frame the octopus, so it wasn't just floating in the white. It wasn't just floating around. So here I'm just working on the background, adding the blue. I was using the Peruvian blue here. It's a very thin color, but very pleasant. It doesn't really give much color, but it has a beautiful hue to it. It's hue, saturation. And I quite like it. And together with it I used the Fatalo turquoise. I think the Fatalo turquoise is my favorite color among some others, but that shade of turquoise is really beautiful. And then it was time to add some little texture to the skin of the octopus. I used the magenta, some little purple dots to just give it a texture. So, and that was the fun part, just sit and make dots. Make little pink dots along the skin of the octopus. It was really fun. Just tilting the drawing just to get a little bit more of a pouring effect, to make it pour down the drawing. This is a I would say this is an effect I really like myself. I really like to just let the color pour down the drawing. It's just so pretty, and it's so interesting to see because you can't help it. You can just guide it. It does what it wants. It pours wherever it wants. You can just guide it. That's the main thing with watercolor. At least for me, it's just to guide it. Let it do its work. That's all I can say. So now I'm just filling out the last part, and that is the highlights. My pencil is a Jelly Roll 0.8. It's really good, but it's also a bit bad at times. It's not so good when it comes to drawing on a little bit of a damp surface. It doesn't like that, so I really had to work a little bit. And once again, my patience does not exist, so even when the paper is a little bit damp, I really want to finish the drawing, so I just ignore the fact that the white doesn't really set on the paper. So I'm just like, I'm drawing anyway. It's a little bit damp. It doesn't get as pretty as I want, but I don't have any patience. I'm just drawing this, and it will look like it will. And once the drawing has set and it's dry and everything, I can go over again with the gel pen just to give it that extra pop in the end. So yeah, I had a little bit of malfunction on my camera. It stopped recording in the end because the battery was dying. I mean, I had been drawing straight for, what was it, 2.5 hours, I think. But overall, for a first time drawing octopuses, I am quite pleased. Don't know what to draw? Why not visit randomlist.com and click on the animals bar. There you can generate 1,000 upon 1,000 of animals. It's a great challenge and you will enjoy it. And remember the challenge: just animals you never drawn. So here are some previous videos you can check out. If you like this video and want to see more, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. And leave a thumbs up if you liked it. And I see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.